So after their victory on Tuesday, the Eagles now face a quick week and now have to prepare themselves to take on the New York Football Giants. And this week, the Eagles are facing some COVID issues. Nick Sirianni, right after the game, Wednesday morning, news came out he tested positive. So Nick Sirianni may not be available for the Eagles to coach them when they play the Giants in Philly. But even with all that going on, now hopefully, knock on wood, there isn't going to be a coronavirus issue for this game. Knock on wood, hopefully it's played on Sunday. I don't want it to be moved. Play it on Sunday. Let these guys get back into the rut, the normal routine of games are on Sunday, and go from there. But to talk about this matchup with the Eagles and the Giants, you do have to go back to the first game in the new Meadowlands where the Giants beat the Eagles in that game. And let's be honest about this game. When you look at this game, the biggest factor in that game was the turnovers. The Eagles were sloppy with the football, and they turned it over 4 times, 3 of which from Jalen Hurts, and by far, it was his worst performance as a pro, in my opinion. Absolutely. And I ripped him for it, and I believe rightfully so. But that was a few weeks ago. And it's funny how things change after a couple weeks. The Eagles, after that the Giant debacle, they play the Jets with Gardner Minshew. He lights up the Jets. Then Jalen Hurts comes back, and Jalen Hurts goes out and plays one of his best games as a pro. And if my key for this game is simple. Can Jalen Hurts continue to have good performances back-to-back? Because there's been times this season where you're like, hey, Jalen Hurts had a great game, and then the next game, he's either okay or bad. He hasn't really shown that continuation. He's not been able to link multiple great games together. He has not shown the ability to do that yet. And now he faces an opponent that basically, in my opinion, basically embarrassed him last time that he played him. Now he has an opportunity to come back from that embarrassing performance against this team and play them again. He gets a redo now. So I want to see if Jalen Hurts can go ahead and take what he did on Tuesday, and bring it to this game against the Giants. And the good news for the Eagles, it's in Philly, so no travel, no nothing like that. You're right at home, you should be comfortable. But the other part of this game, it should be pretty simple, and you can look at the first game, you can see this as well. The Eagles ran the football very effectively against the New York Giants. They were able to run the football pretty consistently. And they were also down Jordan Howard. They didn't have a power back. Even so, Miles Sanders still ran very effectively. Boston Scott still ran very effectively. They were able to push the Giants around when need be. The issue was the Eagles weren't able to convert on third down, and when they did, they turned the football over. So the Eagles, they have to avoid the turnovers. Even last week, they had 2 early turnovers in that first quarter. And that could have, against a better team, that could have cost the Eagles the game right then and there. But the Eagles were able to rebound and get the job done against Washington. But you can't do it again. You cannot continue doing this recipe of turning it over early, looking sloppy, and not having your act together. You can excuse a sloppy first quarter coming off the bye week, and then it got delayed a couple days. That's understandable. That makes some sense. You're going to be rusty. You're going to get the kinks out. You're not in your rhythm. You're not in your normal routine. That could screw a team up, and that's understandable. But you can't do this again. You have to come out firing on all cylinders. And if they don't do that, they very well might be in trouble against, honestly, an even weaker Giants opponent than they faced last time. Last time, the Giants at least had their starting quarterback. They're not going to have their starting quarterback. He's basically done for the year. You're facing Mike Glennon, a basic journeyman backup. He should not be able to beat your defense, especially since last time your defense held up very well against the Giants. They only gave up 13 points considering they turned it over 4 separate occasions. I mean, that's impressive. Or it's either impressive that the Eagles' defense stopped them that much, or embarrassing that the Giants' offense couldn't do anything. I'm not sure which at this point. But I believe this game should come down to the fact that the Eagles have both their running backs in Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard, and both of them together are probably the best tandem in the NFL. And not only are they the best tandem, the Eagles probably have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And they currently have the number 1 rushing attack. And their entire offensive game plan should be based on running the football, keeping the Giants' offense on the sideline, and when Mike Glennon makes mistakes, making him pay for it. This game should be very simple. it should be very simple for the Eagles, and I think it sounds pretty obvious. I'm picking the Eagles to win this game. They should have no problem beating the Giants, even on a short week, even possibly being down your head coach. Even with all those factors against the Eagles right now, they should be able to beat the Giants pretty easily, considering how battered they are. But, like I said, even in the original matchup, this is an NFC East matchup. It's Eagles-Giants. These games are known to go down to the fourth quarter, and anything and everything will happen. So, I think it'll be a close game. But I want to talk a little bit more about what this Eagles offense needs to do. And part of that has to do with continue to give Dallas Goedert the football. Dallas Goedert is obviously now the Eagles' number one offensive weapon when it comes to passing the football. And Devontae Smith, I think, has clearly become the number two option for this team, which isn't bad. It's not a bad thing. And a lot of people are saying, get Devontae the ball. We need Devontae Smith to be that number one. Well, you got a number one tight end in Dallas Goedert that no one has proven or even shown that they can cover. Why are you going to go ahead and take away snaps from Goedert and give it to Devontae Smith? Not that Devontae Smith doesn't deserve those opportunities, which he does. I mean, he even showed it on Tuesday. He was making great plays. But Dallas Goedert right now has not been shown that he can be stopped. When the Eagles feature him, when they use him as their top weapon, no one in the NFL has proven they can stop him yet. And until somebody shows that they can stop him, they should continue featuring him and using him like crazy. And then when they do stop him, you have Devontae Smith streaking down the field. That's when you hit Devontae Smith and make him pay for covering Goedert. And then once you get your lead on that team, you just pound Jordan Howard, you pound with Miles Sanders, and you let them run right through opposing defenses. You saw the Eagles once again. They had over 175 yards rushing for the 7th consecutive game. They need to continue that formula every time against every opponent, because it hasn't mattered who the Eagles have gone up against. They've ran right through every defense they've gone against. When they have decided that they are going to run the football, they showed they can. Even on the Thursday night game against Tampa Bay all those weeks back, when they barely ran the football. In that fourth quarter, when they did run the football against one of the top rushing defenses that everybody said you shouldn't be able to run on, they ran right through them. It's a simple fact that no one in this league has proven they can stop the Eagles' running game. And until they do, the Eagles need to lean on it and use it as the focal point of their attack. And then you sprinkle in Dallas Goedert as your number one receiver. Add a little Devontae Smith on the side. And at that point, you made the game so easy for Jalen Hurts. He can just focus on what he has to do. And if he keeps providing you performances like he's done on Tuesday, this Eagles team is going to be pretty damn good. But at this point in time, obviously I'm going to say keys of victory are pretty easy for the Eagles. Run the football, don't turn the ball over, and get stops on third down when you're on defense. If the Eagles do those three things, the Giants won't have a shot in beating them. They won't. The only way the Giants beat the Eagles in this game, and it's possible because they showed it already, is if the Eagles turn the ball over like crazy, which is something the Eagles have shown that they're prone to. But that's something that comes from a young team. They got to learn to protect and value the football. And Nick Sirianni has done a good job in recent weeks really cracking the whip on them, saying, you got to do it. We saw on the sideline on the Tuesday night game where he chewed out Jalen Hurts for not holding on the football, telling him, don't be careless. That's good. We want that. And you know what happened? These players are responding to it. So my final right now, I think it's going to be a little back and forth game. It's going to be a bit of a defensive matchup because typically when the Eagles-Giants, they're typically more defensive matchups. I think it'll probably a low-scoring game early on, maybe 10, 17 points at most until the fourth quarter. And then I think by the time late third, fourth quarter, the Eagles' running game is really going to wear down the Giants. Jalen Hurts will make a couple plays here and there, and I think the Eagles will end up winning by a larger margin, but it will be a pretty close game for most of the game. I think the final will be 30-17 Eagles. So for my Week 16 NFL picks, on Thursday night, we got the 49ers taking on the Tennessee Titans. And these are two teams fighting for playoff spots and positions right now. But with Tennessee at home on the Thursday night game, I think Tennessee's going to have enough firepower to take care of the 49ers, who they've been playing pretty well recently. But I think the Niners just have a little bit more talent on defense, and that's going to be the difference in this game. Next, we got the Browns taking on the Packers. The Packers were able to lock up a playoff seed last week, and they're just looking to continue that momentum forward. Right now, Green Bay, by far, in my opinion, is the best team in the NFL. The way they've been playing, Aaron Rodgers has looked good. That running game looks unstoppable. And you feel bad for the Browns because the Browns have been faced with injuries, COVID, and everything going on with them right now. It's just a tough break for that Browns team. So I got Packers winning that game. Next, got the Colts taking on the Cardinals. That was just an embarrassing loss by the Cardinals. That was an embarrassing loss. The fact they lost to Detroit the way they did was embarrassing. I didn't think losing DeAndre Hopkins would be that big of a loss for the Cardinals, but they proved me wrong. But I got to go with the Colts. The Colts, that running attack, the way that team is playing right now, I just feel like that's too much, and the Cardinals aren't going to be able to handle it. So I got Colts in this game. Next, got the Lions taking on the Falcons. I think Detroit had another nice win. Good for you, Detroit. At least you're getting a couple wins right now. But Atlanta's going to beat you this week. They're at home. They're usually a pretty good home team. I think Atlanta's got enough firepower to put Detroit away. And then we got the Rams taking on the Vikings. Vikings are trying to hold on to that last playoff seed, while the Rams are seeing the NFC West being a possibility for them. I just feel like even with all the COVID going on for the Rams right now, I still think they're a better team, and I still think they got more pieces than the Vikings. For whatever reason, the Vikings just can't keep everything together when they have to. You know, they got all these weapons, they got all these guys, but for whatever reason, they just can't get the job done. I'm going to go Rams in this game. Next, got the Jaguars taking on the Jets. I mean, it's your coin flip bad team matchup. You know, Jaguars have been horrible, but with Urban Meyer being gone, I wonder how maybe they'll start having some more semblance of a real professional team. And with the Jets just play people tough. The Jets will hang with people and they'll play people tough. I'm going to go with Jets in this game. And we got the Bills taking on the Patriots. Last time these two teams met, I think New England threw it 3 times. And that was because the weather was so bad. I think that really hurt Buffalo because a lot of their game is allowing Josh Allen to throw the football, and they don't really have that dynamic running back or running back by committee that the New England Patriots do. I think this matchup will go in the Bills' favor, though. Presuming weather and everything's good and whatnot, which as far as I know right now it should be, I think Josh Allen will be able to make that Patriots defense bend and buckle a few times, and that will be enough to allow Buffalo Bills to get the win here. Next, we got the Ravens taking on the Bengals. You got to give this Ravens team credit. Without Lamar Jackson these couple weeks, they've played well enough to be very competitive in these games. You got to give the Ravens credit. They got a lot of heart in that. It's a shame it just hasn't gotten them a win yet. But until I know Lamar Jackson's going to be back, I got to keep going against the Ravens, though. I'm going to go Bengals, and, you know, the Bengals might just win themselves the AFC North here. But the way they've been playing, they've been good enough. They're holding on to that spot for now. And I think getting that win over the Ravens, I think will almost seal it for the Bengals. Next, got the Chargers taking on the Texans. This should be an easy one for the Chargers. You're going down to Houston. You know, Houston, what have they been this year? They haven't really been that good on either side of the football. They've had some nice moments here and there, but the Chargers are just a better team. I go Chargers in this game. Then we got Tampa Bay taking on the Panthers. What the hell happened to Tampa last week? What the hell happened? I mean, I never thought I'd see a score end in 9-0. But it happened. You know, credit to the Saints in that defense. They did just enough, and Tampa Bay lost so many players, but I would expect them to at least get a point with Tom Brady. But now that the Tampa has a week, you know, presuming who comes back and who doesn't, I think they should be able to formulate enough of a game plan in order to get the job done against the Panthers, though. The Panthers aren't that great of a team. And besides Cam Newton running it in every now and again, I think that's really all they have. So I'm going to go Tampa in this game. Next, got the Bears taking on the Seahawks. I mean, the Bears are who we think they are. They're not that good of a team. They don't have that much going on. But then you look at the Seahawks, and the Seahawks, they have Russell Wilson, and what else? You know, both these teams have had kind of miserable seasons right now. And I'm going to go with Seattle just because they're at home. I think that'll be enough for them, but you know, the Bears might play them tough enough, but I got to go Seattle in this game. Next, got the Broncos taking on the Raiders. I mean, Denver, you know, that lost Teddy Bridgewater last week. Horrible injury. Hope he's doing better right now. And the Raiders, I mean, hopefully they can just stop the bleeding. That's all they're hoping for right now. With all the drama they've had this year, but they're playing at home, I think that's going to be enough. I really don't trust or like Drew Lock enough in order to think he's going to beat the Raiders, so I'm going to go with the Raiders in this game. Next, got the Steelers going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been red hot. And since they've gone on this hot streak, they are now the number 1 seed in the AFC. And I don't see that stopping right here. I don't think the Steelers have enough firepower. I don't think their defense is going to be able to contain Mahomes in the way this offense is playing. And the Chiefs' defense has been very surprising, and I think it's going to give Big Ben problems. The fact Big Ben, it's getting cold, he's playing outdoors, he is older, I think those are all factors against Pittsburgh in this game. I'm going Chiefs in this game. So next we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington football team. Dallas has an opportunity to basically lock up the NFC East this week, and I think they do it. I mean, Washington, with all the COVID issues they've had, it's just been too much for them. And then also on a short week after playing Philadelphia and losing the way they did to Philadelphia, Dallas should see that game plan the Eagles implemented and just copy and paste. And they have the running backs to do it. They have the line to do it. So I think Dallas should be able to win this game pretty easily. And then finally, to wrap the week up, we got the Miami Dolphins taking on the New Orleans Saints. Well, Saints had a very surprising win against Tampa Bay. Not many people saw that coming, but Miami's been playing a lot better football recently. Tua Tagovailoa has seemed to come into his own, and I think that continues this week. That defense has been playing well. The offense has been efficient enough in moving the football. I got to go Miami winning this game on Monday night. And with that, that wraps up my picks of the week in the NFL for Week 16. I want to thank you all for listening to the Process YouTube channel. If you like what I got to say, please hit that like button. And if you agree or disagree with my thoughts and opinions, please say so in the comment section below. With that, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.